figured I'd better check in here and start off this vlog. You will have already seen some clips of what's been going on this weekend. But yeah, I am doing another weekend reading vlog, and I am filming right now from my screen house at the lake, and it's a little bit overcast out and it looks like it's about to start raining any moment. So apologies for any wind noise or any, bird noise and rain noise that you might hear in the background of this video. This book, Diary of a Young Naturalist by Dara McAnulty, this is the next book that we are reading for the Young Naturalist book club. We will be discussing this book next weekend. So it's currently the weekend of June 19th. Happy Juneteenth. And this book we'll be discussing next weekend on the Young Naturalist Instagram channel. And yeah, this is a book that is written, the author is a young person from Ireland, and he has been active with climate change type stuff. And this is his memoir that he has written in a diary format type style, detailing a whole year of life in Ireland and what he has been doing. Basically, just looking at the natural world around him and what he is personally been involved with when it comes to nature, and also how things are impacting him because he is autistic. So this is his description and his experience of living in the world with autism and being involved in activism, and how these two things and the natural world around him come into contact with one another. So I am very much looking forward to this. I've heard lots of good things about this book. I love books written in a diary style format, so I'm excited for that. And looking forward to diving into more information about the natural world of Ireland, which I don't know very much about. So yeah, looking forward to this one. Anyway, I will get to reading and I will check in with you later. Some people believe that roots grow from bricks and mortar, but ours spread like mycelium networks, connected to a well of life lived together, so that wherever we go, we stay rooted. This book is so good. Definitely worth a read, for sure. So I've read through the first section of Diary of a Young Naturalist. So the first section is about springtime, and it is really, really good. And I mean, it's just amazing that a 14-year-old wrote this book. I can't get over how well written it is and how profound some of the thoughts and observations he's making about the natural world are, and also his reflections on what it is to be autistic and to move through the world as an autistic person, his experiences with his family, who are very supportive and very much helping to make the world easier for him to move through it, but also his experiences in public school and trying to, get through his education. It's not that he doesn't like to learn, he loves learning, but he really struggles with the strictures and the chaotic nature of education as a young person. And he needs, more structure and more quiet time and more reflection time. And it's difficult for him with the push to, especially as we push kids nowadays with standardized testing and, more structured, goal-oriented learning. I think it's really difficult for kids who learn in a different way. And he really talks about that openly and honestly in a way that I think makes a lot of sense and really should be something that adults are reading and thinking about when it comes to how we set up education for young people. So very much enjoying this book, getting a lot out of it already as I'm done with the first section. there. So I finished Diary of a Young Naturalist by Dara McAnulty, and I know how to pronounce this name now because at the back of this book is a very helpful little glossary which tells you how to pronounce a lot of the Irish words. So just a pro tip for those of you who are planning to read Diary of a Young Naturalist. So overall, I found this book delightful. I thought it was really excellently done. I spent the entire book thinking to myself, how is it possible that a 14-year-old could write such an insightful and heartwarming and gentle book? I just loved it. I love the way that Dara describes the nature around him. He really brings to life the natural places in Ireland and why he loves them so much. And then I also love Dara's descriptions of what it's like to live as an autistic person. Both he and his two siblings, a brother and a sister, are on the spectrum. And their family has learned that just because they experience the world differently doesn't make that bad. That is just a matter of understanding what they each need and giving those things to each other. And I just think it's beautiful. It's such a lovely story of a family who have learned how to live with each other in the way that gives them all the best opportunity to be happy. And in Dara's case, what helps center him and ground him is being in nature. And so very often he will take himself off to the wild places in order to, observe wildlife or listen to the sounds around him or just be in nature to allow himself to center himself and get his emotions under control. Dara also talks a lot about what it's like to be in school as a person with autism and how our public school systems are set up in a way that either helps or hinders folks who are not neurotypical. So I thought that was very valuable as well. There's lots of insights in here to be gained about things that might be changed in the educational system to help kids who learn in all different ways, because we don't all learn the same way. And I think that we're progressing in that way with education, that we know that kids don't all learn in the same way. There's still further to go with that. And so I think, Dara does a nice job explaining just exactly why this is so important. Also, he talks a lot about his activism over the course of the book, which takes place over 1 year, and it's told in journal entries as Dara is processing his life on a daily basis. It's not every day, but journal entries throughout one whole year. And the book is divided into 4 sections, one for each season of the year, which I really love that organizational style. I thought it was very well done, and really I love the progression through the seasons and seeing the seasons through Dara's eyes. I thought it was very, very well done. So Dara gets involved towards the end of the year's time, more and more involved in global activism to try to encourage people to be aware of climate change and the things that we're losing in the natural world, species decline, species extinction, all of these things Dara is very passionate about. And he uses his passion in a way to bring awareness to others. And he works through his own fear and anxiety around public speaking and things like that to talk about the things that he finds most important. And I think in that way, Dara is really he's a true leader and also an inspiration to others, and hopefully an inspiration to a lot of young people. I think, as a person who's middle-aged, it amazes me what young people do these days and how they use social media and the technology that we have available to us today in order to try to make the world a better place. It really is something that we should all be looking to the young people to lead us in. So before I close this review, I just thought I would read you a little bit of Dara's own words, just so you can understand his writing style and see the beauty in the way that he captures his environment and his life. So this is in the spring portion of the book. He says, "Nature and nurture, it's got to be a mix of both. It may be innate, something I was born with, but without encouragement from parents and teachers and access to wilder places, it can't bind to everyday life." And then he says, I find the tail end of winter frustrating, and all this waiting to travel through a portal into color and warmth bring out my worst characteristic, impatience. Same. And then he's talking about all the first flowers that come in the springtime, all the so-called weed species. I spy coltsfoot, bursts of sunshine from the disturbed ground. White-tailed bumblebees drink and collect hungrily. Dandelions and their allies in the daisy family are often the first pollinating plants to flower in the spring and are incredibly important for biodiversity. I implore everyone I meet to leave a wild patch in their garden for these plants. It doesn't cost much, and anybody can do it. As nature is pushed to the fringes of our built-up world, it's the small pockets of wild resistance that can help. Isn't that lovely? I mean, honestly, Dara makes me feel like I've done nothing with my life. He's already written this gorgeous book at age 14. I highly encourage you all to pick this up if you haven't already. Another knockout from Milkweed Editions. I mean, they just keep bringing them on. They are just amazing with the nature nonfiction that they're publishing. Diary of a Young Naturalist. If you haven't read it yet, please go and pick it up.